Hey guys, what's up? Cardfight here, and today I'm here with a Revenger deck profile. This is the Raging Form Abyss deck that some of you requested way back when, but I sort of put it off because of all the new stuff that came out. But since there's gonna be quite a bit of time actually between this set and the next booster set, I'm just gonna rehash some old decks of mine that I didn't showcase before, and I'll just show you guys the decks. So first up we have the Raging Form Abyss deck, which you guys asked for. The other variant of this is the Abyss Drag Ruler deck, which I think is actually more consistent, but this deck is a bit more fun, so I'll show this first. If you guys want to see a Drag Ruler build, a Drag Ruler Abyss build, I might show you guys that a bit later. There isn't actually too much different between this build and that build, but I'll just show you guys that later if you guys want to see it. So comment down below if you want to see it. If you don't want to see it, then just be like, I don't want to see it. Then no, I won't make it. So yeah. So starting Vanguard, we run Judge Bow. Skill is pretty simple. Kind of lost one, put this card into Soul. When this card boosts a Phantom unit and hits, you may pay the cost and then put this card in Soul, and then search your deck for 2 Great Ones and call them in Rearguard Circle, in rest position. So what that means, they don't have to be Revengers, so you can call in some non-Revenge units, which I will show you guys later. So Judge Bow is a very, very strong card. It's one of the main reasons why this deck was good. It's still sort of good, I guess, but it's not as fast as some of the newer decks out there. So for grade 3s, run 3 Phantom Abyss. Now, this card is strong, but it eats a lot of Counter Blast, so that's why I only run this in 3. I see a lot of builds at top that run 4, but I personally don't think you need to run that many. So his skill is, when this card's in Legion, Counter Blast 2, eat 3 of your Revenger units, and when this card attacks, you may pay the cost. You do restand this unit. So it's eat 3, restand, but you can only use this effect on the turn that you Legion. So be careful of when you Legion. So yeah. And the second skill is, when this card attacks, it gets plus 2k. So yeah. The main reason why I combo this card with Raging Form is because obviously this is not something like Satan Saber where you can use it whenever you want. You can only use this when you Legion. So after that turn you Legion, he's pretty much just a vanilla. So you just gotta ride something on top of that, whether it be himself or Raging Form. So next we run 3 Raging Form Dragons. You can run 4 and run 1 less of the Mordred Phantoms, but since you can just Legion these back in if you discard them for another card that run this deck skill, you can just put them back in the deck. But I run 3 because he's not the main card you want to ride with, so getting him later is not too bad. He's not your main win condition, so he's not as important as before. For those who don't know his skill, it's Limit Break 4, eat 3 Revengers. When this card attacks, you can ride after this card finishes attacking, you can ride a Raging Form Dragon from your hand, and it gets plus 10k power. And the second skill is Counterless 1. When this card attacks, it gets plus 3k. So strong card because it hits for 21 when you re-ride, and it doesn't cost any Counter Blast. So that's why it's good. When you exhaust your Counter Blast with Mordred Phantoms or Phantom Abyss, then you can just ride Raging Form to finish the game. Next, I run 2 Mordred Phantoms. Now, in competitive builds nowadays, a lot of players run 4 Mordred Phantoms, or 3, 4 or 3, around that number. And yeah, The main reason is because since you ride, your main target is Phantom Abyss, he keeps a 10k when he restands, so it's very powerful. And you also get the free +1 when you ride, so it's nice. Well, it's not really +1, it's break even, but you know what I mean. Grade 2 is we run 4 Blaster Dark Abyss. Kind of also want to kill something level 2 or lower, grade 2 or lower, if you have a Revenger Vanguard. So it's pretty good. I rarely use the skill though because this deck is very counterblast heavy, and unless you want to pop some interceptors like in the alpha build, then you probably not going to use a skill unless you know you're going to finish the game and you don't need counterblast later on because your opponent's dead. After that, we run 2 of the normal Blaster Dark Revengers, mainly because we run Dorians in this deck, so help you unflip some damage. Next, I run 3 Masquerades. A lot of people replace this with the card that gets plus 3k when you call a grade 2, or when you call a grade 1 or below. But since I don't actually YOLO that hard in this deck, I think Masquerades are enough. Maybe if I ran a Dragular build, I would run those instead, but again, I'll show you guys that in a different video if you guys want to see it. Next, I run 2 mana. When this card's called to the Rearguard Circle, you can search your deck for a grade 1 or below Revenger and call it in the same column behind it, and at end of turn it goes to the bottom of the deck. So I'll explain what I use this for later on. Next, we run 4 of the Great One Masquerade. He's a 10k attacker, which is actually very useful because you want to have 4 magic numbers with the Heartbreaker Angels. And then next, I run 2 of the Spear Revenger. His skill is, when this card's called to the Rearguard Circle, you may discard a grade 3 from your hand and then search your deck for a Mordred Phantom and add it to your hand. So it's a very good card because you can discard Raging Forms and stuff, so you can search for your main grade 3 ride target, your first ride target, which is Mordred Phantom. And then when you Legion, you can just put the cards that you discarded back in. So for example, if you discarded Raging Form, you're just going to put Raging Form back in since this deck only runs 3. So that's actually one of the reasons why I run 3 Raging Forms now, because you can put them back in the deck, even if you, for example, if you damage checked and heal it, or if you discard it, which is not something you can do before the existence of Legion. So, yep. Next, I run 2 Dorians. When Blaster Dark Revenger is called in front of this, in the same column as this, you can unflip damage. This does not work with Abyss. It only works with the normal Blaster Dark Revenger. So that's why I run 2 of 2. Normally, you're just going to unflip 1 damage throughout the whole game with this guy's effect, so it's not too big of a deal. 1 is actually enough, so yeah. Next, run 2 of the Heartbreaker Angels. Now, this card obviously combos with Judge Bow when you ride Mordred Phantom, but it also works with this card because it has Phantom in its name. And the reason I run 2 is because when you damage check 1, it's pretty much gone. So run 2 just in case. If you damage check both of them, or you draw 1 and damage check 1, or you draw both, then tough luck. But 2 is fine. A lot of the Japanese players play 1, but I think 2 is fine. But do not call both of them out with this guy's skill, unless you have a way to get rid of them, because you can't eat these with Raging Form and Abyss. Next, run 4 Guards. Pretty self-explanatory. Not running Quintet Walls because this deck is very counterblast heavy, and it legions less than most other decks, so that's also a thing. Next, run 8 crit, 4 draws, and 4 heal. So, pretty self-explanatory. It's the most basic Revenger lineup, I think, for triggers. Now, some things that you can do with this deck is, for example, if you really want Mordred Phantom in your hand, but you don't have any, but you have an extra grade 3 or something, like you have one of these in your hand, and you have this in your hand, you just call this, superior call this card, and then search for Mordred Phantom. This is a very interesting card to use because it's very good because lots of options you can do. Like, even if you, for example, if you break ride onto Mordred Phantom and you do something like this, you pretty much only eat 1 card during that turn because you superior call this, which was pretty much free. Then you superior call something from behind it, which is pretty much free. Besides, it goes back to the bottom deck afterwards anyway. So you only need to eat the card behind your Vanguard. So yeah, very good. Very interesting card. A lot of Japanese players only play 1, which I can see why. It's an 8K, which is a bit iffy, but most of the time you're going to be eating her, or intercepting with her, or using her as drop zone filler. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. Not much else to say about it. It's a pretty self-explanatory deck, I guess. It's pretty fun. It's won quite a bit against secret decks and the great decks. But the main problem with this deck is that it's a little slow. So if you get pressured by crits early game, then you might have a hard time coming back from this because it is a limit break deck. So things like Origin of Light Alfred can pressure this deck pretty hard while keeping you at 3. So you might have to force yourself to use this card earlier, which is not too big a problem because compared to before where you couldn't do anything when you're not limit break 4, this card gives you more of a fighting chance than you did before. So that's pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. This is Card Haku, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.